This is Jeff. You're here on the chain. We are going live. Today's going to be a great show. We got a lot of things to dissect, a lot of things to cover. And primarily, we are going to get into XRP is not a security. There are some great tweets out there from John Deaton, Gasperino, Graham, Stephan, and many others. There's stuff going on with Credit Suisse. Deaton has made some commentary on the SEC investigating Pelosi. Now, are these protests and all on inflation? Is this going to give a big boost to the crypto market? And is the inflation and all these other things that are going on in this space right now also going to give a huge push to the crypto market and actually pushing everything into a bull cycle from the bear cycle? We're going to get into that. And the best XRP comment, is it ever? Maybe not. Maybe it was just something we read today. Maybe it was something we just read this evening, but there are some great commentary out there. We definitely want to get into all of that and much more. So if you guys are ready, we're going to kick this thing off. It's a lot of great things. We're fired up. We want to get this thing going. So hopefully you guys want to get this thing going too. So ready? Here we go. Let us kick it off. Here we go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
All right. Welcome to On the Chain. So big shout out. Why don't you guys give a quick shout out to where you guys are tuning in from, what country, what state, where you guys at this moment. It is 8 p.m. somewhere, not everywhere. So anyhow, trying to do this off of two different platforms. For whatever reason, Chrome has been acting all crazy lately, and StreamYard is not acting nice in the Chrome environment, which doesn't make any sense. So we are trying this out of Brave. So Brave is going through some big changes right now. We got a lot of great things going on with Brave. So Kelly Slade is in Orlando. We still got some people struggling and some issues on the west coast of Florida, as well as the north going up through Orlando. There's a lot of flooding over there in Orlando as well. So, all right. So hopefully we didn't get, too much. People are recovering up in Orlando, but some of that flooding took out the entire first floors of places. A lot of crazy things that are going on. So anyhow, we want to get into crypto. We want to get into some of this XRP commentary from John Deaton, and we also want to talk a little bit about Credit Suisse. I want to get your feedback as well. Get an idea of what you guys think. Are all of these financial woes that we're seeing around the world, including with Credit Suisse, because we want to get into that. Back in 2008, we saw Lehman Brothers, amongst others, that had some devastating impact on the global economies. And are we getting ready to see the exact same things happening with the second largest bank in Switzerland? And what kind of how is it going to reverberate throughout the economies, the global economies, and how does that then impact cryptocurrency? So that is something that we definitely want to dig into today as well. Big shout out to Hans Loaded for helping with all of the great editing and all those things that go on behind the scenes when we chop up these videos. So we got a lot of shorts. If you guys haven't checked them out yet, go check out some of the shorts, because there might be a great section that went on in one of the streams, and you say, hey, I would love to get back and watch it. And so we have these, short 10-minute segments, and you can quickly, dissect and see some really cool things that are going on. So, all right, let's pull up, and we're going to share the screen. So let's make sure we're sharing our screen so we can get into some of this awesome commentary. So that's great, Kelly. It's good to hear that you are fortunate that you didn't get a lot of flooding over there in the Orlando area. So, all right, let's pull this up. Now, first and foremost, I thought, really hit the mark, right away. And this was John Deaton. he came and he's looking, right? So there's a lot going on right now in the lawsuit, obviously with the SEC via Ripple, and we talked a little bit about how the SEC is really being put in their place now. On the other side, you have John Deaton, who's really out there protecting, defending those within the crypto space at large, but primarily, obviously, XRP holders. So here he said, can someone provide me with a source establishing that XRP is not a security where in Singapore, Switzerland, the UAE, or any other country? He already has source for the UK and Japan. Now, as we know, many countries around the world have already deemed that XRP is not a security. However, we do know that the SEC is still trying to claim and is filed an entire lawsuit against Ripple over this notion that XRP is indeed a security. Now, John Deaton fighting the exact opposite, that we need to really stand up and defend, because there's really so much going on, with what's going on. So here, look at this. This is some commentary from Wilbur. Now, there are actually a lot of great comments here. Like here's one from Ashley Prosper. I've contacted the financial authorities of all three countries to get you a definitive answer. And then we actually had there's definitely some other feedback in regards to Canada and others. But let's open this larger one here. And what's interesting, you get into the tweet threads, and you start seeing more and more on specific points. So here I thought it was really interesting. So here it's very positive for the institution because the asset is not held on its balance sheet. Okay, let's bypass this. The SEC action against Ripple Labs has brought to the fore the discussion of what constitutes a digital asset security in the U.S., how important in that distinction between cryptocurrencies and securities, and how are these considered in Switzerland. So now here's the commentary. In the U.S., the control of XRP by Ripple led to the SEC's action on the basis that XRP is a security per the SEC. From a Swiss legal perspective, the use of the token is the defining factor. If functionality is limited purely to payments, the token will generally not be deemed a security in Switzerland. If the crypto does not compromise a right towards a third party, it will generally not qualify as a security in the legal sense. Even if there are voting rights attached to the token, for example, to determine changes to the protocol, it is still unlikely the token will be classified as a security. It is more likely to be considered a utility token. So obviously a lot to discuss. Now here it goes on. The classification of Bitcoin, as an example, as a financial instrument has also been highly debated in different jurisdictions. However, in Switzerland, it's clear that Bitcoin and other payment tokens are private means of payment and therefore not securities. Now, consider what's going on in Switzerland with Credit Suisse. Now, the CEO of Credit Suisse obviously making some claims that they are financially fluid and stable, but we're going to look into, and maybe that's not exactly the case, and what then would be the impact on the crypto market. So here, these clear-cut definitions make issuance of cryptocurrency attractive in Switzerland as they provide legal certainty. In the U.S., for example, the authorities are much quicker to consider a token to be a security. Now, it's not all authorities. It's really just Gary Gensler. So now if the authorities would then consider a token to be a security, that is a risk. Now, this is why they filed the lawsuit. But there is still a lack of clarity. And we're also going to go, Deaton has a great tweet from last year that references Jerome Powell from Kraken, ex-CEO of Kraken, talking about and getting into this notion that 4 years have gone by without any clarity. So that's a whole different tweet that we want to dissect. And so we're going to fly through this. If you guys have any commentary, I'll pull that up as we go. But let's see, what do we have so far that could be interesting? Could be really, really interesting, right? Very poignant to the conversation. So I want to go into, so from this, let me zip back up to the top. Let's skip over the Credit Suisse stuff for right now. I'm going to go back into another commentary from Deaton. Now, I think this whole theme that we're really going to be getting into and the direction that our conversation will go in will be, I think, pretty interesting. So, all right, here's John Deaton. So he says, SEC Gov, how about you investigate Speaker Pelosi. Resign, you are a disgrace. Term limits. Check out the Hold My Flag video. So obviously there's a lot going on. Now here, they won't investigate because they're a corrupt agency. This is Luis Velazquez, appointed by the people they eventually will serve Wall Street and politicians who use them to become rich. Political corruption for self-enrichment, not just something you see in third world countries. There's so much discontent around the country right now when it comes to these politicians. Now, whether the politicians are, all of them are doing it, or maybe there's just a handful that are getting actively involved in making millions. You look at, Fauci, even he made like $5 million over the course of the 2 years that they were shutting down and people were suffering. He made $5 million. The Pelosi's made something. I don't know how much they made. Was it? They're worth maybe they made around 100 million. I don't know. I mean, it was a crazy number on how much they made over the past couple of years. And you really start digging into it and you start saying, well, are there certain rules that they're following that, people aren't following, or, that they should be following, I should say, that if you were that an average citizen, if you were to act as they were acting, you would find yourself in jail. Insider trading, the corruption, all these different, items that kind of go on. It's really, really crazy, and here, so Mr. Clean is saying the Speaker Pelosi freak show speaks much more about the electorate to sham voting booths than anything else. I do not believe the American people can not watch her talk and know something is off. Now, there's just so much going on. And then, these same individuals, are also then not going to take the individual citizens, the retail investors, however you want to, place it, and start looking out for the people, for we the people, and so when it comes right down to it, we realize that we the people end up having to really look out for and take care of our own interests. And thank God, for all these people that are sleuthing and doing, the digging and researching and everything else to really figure out, hey, what is actually going on right now in this space. Now, we're going to get over to the Credit Suisse here in a second. I'm not going to play every, the videos here. We can kind of let them scroll in the background. Whoop. Going to have a flip-flop here, but let's put this one up. Now, this, Tony from Thinking Crypto. What is up, Tony, out there, if you're listening? So this is something going on over in the UK, happened yesterday. So Tony from Thinking Crypto said this will happen in the US soon, but I think the Fed may start quantitative easing before, that's the QE, before it does, or Democrats will lose big time in the midterms. They're going to lose big time in the midterms anyways. However, why are there massive protests in the streets? And again, now this is going to set the tone for the comments today. I want to get your feedback as well. Are these the inflationary pressures that we are facing, that we're feeling on a global scale, is this going to directly impact pushing crypto into a bull cycle? Now, if it pushes it into a bull cycle, exactly what impact is that going to have on crypto at large? Now, for not even focusing on the fact the SEC v. Ripple case, what kind of outcome impact is, will the SEC v. Ripple case, when there is a decision, how does that impact the price of XRP? Does that also then have an impact on the crypto space at large? But more than that, how is this inflationary pressure globally impacting crypto as it puts more pressure on the fiat currencies? And we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing it. I mean, it's amazing, right? How we've seen the devaluation of fiat currency globally, as you reference it, against US dollar or otherwise. I think the euro is trading on par with the US dollar. The Canadian dollar is down maybe 35%. Maybe 36% on the US dollar. So they're pretty big numbers. But here you have the Wall Street silver protests break out in the UK. Households are facing inflation of almost 10% and are worried about whether they will be able to heat themselves or pay their mortgage this winter. So imagine the pressure, right? 10%. Imagine you're facing, 10% inflation, which we have a lot of people here from the UK, a lot of people listening, and you're in that position. Now in the US, we're around 8.5, 9%. So we're knocking on the 10% door right now, just crazy stuff that is going on. And so that's Tony from Thinking Crypto. And I appreciate him for putting that up there. But here you have Apex Crypto says, I disagree. Fed only cares about inflation and unemployment rate. The only way the Fed can break inflation is through QT. And with U.S. Jobless numbers around 3 to 4%, the band will play on. So here you have, they raised rates for a month now. What did it do? Nothing. But this time it sure will, right? No, it won't. They don't care. They'll continue to buy it all. Now, that's exactly what we're seeing kind of every, it almost seems like it's weekly. We're seeing interest rates going up. Here you have Mac Attack XRP. Inflation reached a record high of 17.1% in the Netherlands in September. The savings of ordinary, hardworking Dutch people are falling at the speed of light. Pension savings are disappearing like snow in the sun. Crazy, right? I mean, this is just astronomical. Look at this kind of flat growth on the inflationary scale, and then boom, right? Just crazy numbers that we're facing. So what do we have here? Let's see. I like the commentary on Twitter. Great. So here you have inflation is transitory. We'll hit 2% in 2022. Recessions very unlikely. Interest rates won't rise until 2024. Inflation's actually good for you. They literally supported buying bonds and ETFs. Now we're paying for these failures over and over and over again. Bottom line, it really keeps coming back to is this mismanagement? Is it really impacting us on a global scale? And how does that then impact what's going on in the crypto space? And there's the flashing again. Now I'm in Brave, and it doesn't matter whether it's Brave or whether it was Chrome. And now I'm thinking it's my camera. So maybe it's my camera that's flashing. I don't know if you guys are getting the flash too, but it was not flashing a second ago. If you guys are seeing the flash, is my image flashing, or is it just on my end? And maybe it's just on this side, and then I'll see if I can fix it while we're on the go. It's really kind of crazy. So, but I'm going to bring up some commentary here from XRP Hitman. He said, U.S. will inflate themselves out of department? What is that? As long as we pump it back into the system and give them tons in taxes, they need us. We are decentralized now, and we have our own chains building. A lot of stuff happening from a decentralized perspective. We've got Jared is saying we have more than 10% inflation in the U.S. Have you tried to buy a large fry from? And it's insane, right? If you look at the cost, no flash, that's insane. It's just on my side. Okay. I'll suffer with it on my side. That's good to know it's not translating across then. Okay. So, so one of the things that we're seeing, across the board, prices are increasing on the smallest items, like you said, with French fries, $4 plus. Everywhere you turn, everything you look at, the cost of everything is rising rapidly. Now, how far can that go before, people are suffering exponentially? And so that is, the question of the day. And when you get to that tipping point, when is that intersect where the suffering of the people due to inflationary pressure and the devaluation of the currency, because that's basically what it is. Your dollar isn't going as far. You can buy less goods with the same dollar than you could a year ago. At what point does the intersect happen where people are then pushed into a direction where the cryptocurrency space becomes not just an alternate, but becomes the primary? And so that's the big question. And I think, as we really start looking at some of these items that are happening here. And so now that's why let's look now. Let's pull up, because this is where it becomes relevant. All right. So this becomes very relevant in the overall conversation. Now, does the inflation and all the things that are happening on a global scale, does this have a direct impact then on a bull cycle? And how does that impact cryptocurrency then taking a primary role in our global economy? And it's amazing to me because we're seeing over and over and over again. So here you have now. I saw was some commentary coming out over the past couple of days. You had some of the Twitter sleuths out there commenting on this. Now here's Charlie Gasperino from Fox Business. Now here you have Charles Gasperino saying breaking major exodus of talent from Credit Suisse. Now we over the past couple of weeks they've been having some issue. They're really trying to make it sound, very nonchalant, like they're okay, everything's fine, they're going to be great, there's not any issue, the economy won't suffer, don't worry about it. So now you have major talent that's fleeing Credit Suisse. So what is that doing? It's helping to fuel the speculation over the health of the overall firm. So now if you have people fleeing the company, they're on the inside, they're realizing that there are some major things that are unfolding. So here, the CEO telling major institutional investors the bank has sound liquidity, capital, etc. So Alex Keaton is saying, let's see, the exodus is because the deal market is down massively year over year. No deal means no bonuses, means time to move on. And maybe that's the case. Bear Stearns is fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. So what is actually happening? Is there a major uptick in this? I don't want to say discontent, but due to everything that's happening on a global scale, are we starting to see some major pressure on some of these major financial institutions, notably Credit Suisse? Now, what impact does this then have on the crypto space? And I find that to be fascinating because if the traditional economy starts has a little bit of a hiccup, starts staggering a little bit, now we have this brand new technology, this new financial technology that has been creeping and growing over the past decade, past 10, 11, 12 years. We've seen a lot of reference to it in the news. We've seen, obviously, we have one of the major cases going on right now that we talk about a lot, which is SEC v. Ripple. But now, on the heels of all of these things happening, what does that actually, mean? What is going to be the major outcome? So now you have, not just Charlie Gasperino talking about it, but you've got other people that are in this space. You have Stephan. He has 4 million subs on YouTube. He's a real estate investor, car enthusiast, and he has, so that's 4 million subs on YouTube, but he has 144,000 on Twitter. But anyhow, let's share this tweet and see what we can get out of this one. So here you have maybe it's Stephan, $600 billion, what Lehman Brothers held in assets when they crashed and took the economy with them. So think about 2008, Lehman Brothers crash. There are obviously a lot of other things that were happening at the same time. Wasn't just Lehman Brothers, but they were holding $600 billion in assets. Now we have $2.8 trillion in asset, which is what Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank control, which is 4.6 times more. Now he's saying Credit Suisse is at a critical moment right now, says the CEO. Is Credit Suisse in jeopardy of failing? And if they do fail, how is that then going to reverberate? What kind of impact is that going to have on a global scale? We saw what happened when the Lehman Brothers and the crash in 2008 really was a massive, massive impact. Now, what happens if we see a decline here? Now, here's what's crazy. If we look at stock prices. So hang on a second. We're talking about two major banks here. So we're talking about Deutsche Bank and, going from 1230 to 740, Credit Suisse from 983 to 392. If we look at the position of many stocks today, I think most people's portfolios, if you just kind of held, are down considerably. This is a 40 and 60% drop. That's pretty massive. So Grant, he says here, however, most of the recent interest arose due to a story from ABC Australia, which reported ominously that a major international investment bank is on the brink. Although the reports didn't specify any names, The rumor is that they're referring to Credit Suisse. So this is on investing.com. I hate when they say credible source because then you never know who it is. But anyhow, so now we know that there's definitely some major issue that's going on across the board. And here's some speculation, but then they have direct statements that there's some concern. But the CEO of Credit Suisse saying, hey, don't worry, we're financially sound. Everything's going to be great. But we know that there's also been some other exposure for both of them over the past months. There have been some major issue. So here you have both Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank are designated as systemically important financial institutions, too big to fail. Now, we saw what happened with the too big to fails before in 2008. What was the outcome of the too big to fails and the bailouts? Was Bitcoin. Bitcoin 2010, a direct response to what happened within the banking industry and the mortgage industry as a whole. Obviously, there wasn't a response to the mortgage, but the big crash from 2008 to 2010. And then we saw Bitcoin. Then we saw the cryptocurrency space. So for the past 10, 11, 12 years, almost as a direct response to everything that was happening post 2008. So now what happens? We're 10, 12 years into this crypto, let's call it crypto experiment. A brand new financial technology. We have countries around the world that have adopted. We have countries that are investigating, they're researching, they're trying to figure out, do they go with crypto? Do they go with CBDCs? How does crypto fit into the bigger narrative? We see where the US is really trying to drag their feet. We see the SEC trying to determine the outcome, making statements on how they're then going to have oversight and control over the crypto space. They want to, make claim that every crypto asset is a security, whether or not they're adhering to the tenets of the Howey test or not. It's been a crazy ride. So now we're already anticipating kind of a direction and a moment in time when the SEC v. Ripple case comes to a conclusion, which it could do maybe in months, maybe a year from now. But let's say it comes to a conclusion. And we see this conclusion from the SEC v. Ripple case. Give me some comment. What do you guys think? What happens in day 2? So let's say tomorrow. Let's fast forward to whatever number of months, a year, whatever that number is. Let's fast forward. What's up, Apex Crypto? Covered one of your tweets a second ago, one of your replies. But anyhow, what happens day 2? Okay, so let's say Monday morning, we wake up, and there is a conclusion to the SEC v. Ripple case. What happens on Tuesday? Okay, so we have that going on. So all that's happening. And at the same time, either this happening slightly before, or maybe, the timing of it coincides. Credit Suisse, obviously we're just speculating on this one, but Credit Suisse implodes, or there's a major disruption from Credit Suisse. Maybe the major disruption from Deutsche Bank. How does that impact the direction of cryptocurrency at large? All the inflation and the people that are upset around the world, how does that, influence the direction of crypto at large? So that's one. Those are two separate elements. And then we have the major case of the century right now. Say major case of the century because there isn't a larger cryptocurrency case that has gone on before or now, other than SEC v. Ripple. This can also then determine and dictate the direction that cryptocurrency moves in. All of these different factors that are happening right now. I mean, it's just really impressive as to what we're seeing happening at this moment, which is crazy, just absolutely crazy stuff. So let me just go into some of these comments here. XRP Rock says we'll turn the lights on. That's number one. Let's see. I think Alchemist is going to go out and start buying some Lambos on day number 2. So just love to see, all the different things that could potentially happen here. We need more. We need more comments about what happens in day 2 after we see an outcome of the SEC v. Ripple case, assuming it's a positive outcome, assuming it's decision, and they say, okay, XRP is not a security. What happens in day 2? And I kind of like hydroponics, Alan, buying a private island when we move. Now, it would be really cool. I've always thought about, imagine having an XRP compound. That would be sweet. It would go onto that private island. So it'd be like an XRP. And someone else was mentioning that too. That it has to be like an XRP island. But I like this idea of like an XRP compound. And one of the qualifiers, kind of like your HOA, but a qualifier to get into the XRP compound is that you have to, have an XRP wallet. You have to, then you're going to buy your house in XRP. And then the community kind of gets everything circulates in the XRP asset, but it'd be an XRP compound. That'd be pretty sweet. I like it. Matt's is saying we buy a Lambo or buy more XRP. I kind of like that. So that's another one, right? So everybody's used to like stacking bags with XRP. So XRP, there's a settlement. What happens in day two? People keep buying XRP. That's like the natural instinct. Go and buy more XRP. I like it. So Jim D is saying, need an XRP resort where we can live in a community and stake for income. There we go. There's another great idea, right? So you have the XRP resort or this XRP compound, the XRP island, and you're able to stake your XRP for interest, and then interest earned to generate more income. I like it. That's another good one. Alchemist, isn't that Ledger City? Exactly. We need Ledger City, but in real life. So a real life Ledger City. So we don't want to live in this metaverse fictional world. We want to live in the real world. So the real Ledger City. So that'd be pretty sweet. I like that. I didn't even think about that as we're going through that. That's a good one. Hydroponics, Alan, I'm only inviting the nicest people taking applications now, but the prerequisite is that you have to be an XRP holder, I would assume, Alan. So you take your application, the nicest of the XRP holders, which is pretty much, the majority of XRP holders are pretty nice. So you're going to need a pretty big island, which is cool. See that, Alchemist, gated XRP community, no riffraff, no BTC maxis or ETH maxis allowed. See, there you go. That's the other. So that's prerequisite number one, is that you have to have XRP. Prerequisite number two, you can't be a maxi. So you can't be a BTC maxi or an ETH maxi or anything like that. You can't. So we're moving in the right direction. There you go. That's good. Jacob's Ladder saying, I've become very attached to my bags. Not sure I can let go. See, there, and that's why you kind of go back to this notion of being able to stake the XRP. So you're not actually having to get rid of the XRP. But if you're staking the XRP, you're getting paid interest in XRP. Do you then keep that XRP or sell the XRP? But the whole economy of this XRP island or resort is going to have to be in XRP. So if you want to go, you're going to have to pay in. Everything will be paid in XRP. It'll be great. It's awesome. There you go. Matt LaRoche says, day two after XRP is non-security, one exchange. What is that? Relist? We need everything. We need complete relisting. Now, so that's the other question. You've got to start getting a voting pool going in the XRP space and making that determination as to where the XRP community should be. Where would this island be? Where would the gated community be? And maybe we have a couple of them, because maybe, we want to have one in the Southeast, which would be cool. So somewhere in Southeast Florida would be nice. We could get a little compound going for XRP. Then we want one maybe somewhere in the Northeast. Mainly, you want to be in a snowy area in case you get away for the winter time or the summertime. You don't want to be in the Southeast in the summer. So we need another community. Now, here's the catch. Now, imagine as part of the XRP community, you'll be able to migrate and travel to these areas of choice. So you could be in your Southeast area, and then you can move up to the Northeast XRP compound. And then we also have to have some international XRP compounds. So this is perfect. I think we're in a good spot already. All right. Apex Crypto is saying, I think the lack of U.S. access to XRP will make the price spike post-lawsuit significantly. Relisting will take some time. I agree with that. I think we'll see a little bit of time on the relisting. I don't think it'll take too much time, with Coinbase and all those that decided to delist more a pause. But you're right. Yeah, I think that we're going to start seeing, some crazy stuff going on, in a short period of time. Mark's saying allow non-XRP holders in, but they must swap for XRP at the gate. They're only allowed to sit at a particular table, non-believers, for a period of time. They're in their timeout space. Apex Crypto, you guys definitely want to place up in northern Minnesota. Lots of land, secluded, great hunting, fishing, farmland, all 4 seasons. See, there you go. That's the other case. We need an area where there's not a lot of people. We don't want a lot of crazy stuff going on. Whales will buy all exchange listed XRP after lawsuit. I think there will be a lot of that. I kind of agree with that as well. As soon as there's a decision out, settlement will have a different impact, because a settlement might not necessarily end fully positive, because then you have to have a meeting of the minds and, blending, and maybe it'll just be a little slower go. But if there's a concrete decision that sides on the side of Ripple, I think that'll fire people up, and that'll fire up the crypto space at large, because basically then they're stating that XRP is not a security. And, maybe they'll say in the beginning it was, and you're going to pay this small fine, but now moving forward, or from this point in time. But I think a full decision could be massive, could be really massive. Sean Smith is saying XRP in each hemisphere. See, I like that too. We need one in each hemisphere. Croatia, Adriatic Sea. There we go. We might, maybe, Sir John, you have to be our guide over there. Each compound has its own airfield, so you can just fly in, fly out. You'd have an XRP global passport. So that's another one. That would be pretty cool too. So that's very, very good stuff. Hodl the Auto, Coinbase, took long enough to list XRP in the first place. And there was a lot of people fired up, remember, about XRP getting on Coinbase and how that was going to spike the price, and didn't really happen so well. Matt LaRoche needs a golf course. So Southeast Florida will have the XRP golf course. That'll be one of the best. And obviously it'll be on the tour, because people are going to want to come to that golf course. That's how amazing it will be. Australia is an island, and therefore maybe all of Australia will take over. We'll have to take over Australia. So Jim D is saying, did you see the Trump video identifying Gary G as Hillary Clinton's? I did see that. Kind of crazy too. But we knew that there was a lot of inner, pollination kind of going on between those different entities. But remember, wasn't Gary Gensler that launched the lawsuit to begin with? He's the one that got to run it for the past couple years. So what was happening leading up to that decision also, and how much did they know ahead of time when they appointed Gary Gensler? What did Gary Gensler know prior to the big appointment? How soon in advance was he alerted, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's interesting stuff. So we did the okay, here's one. This has nothing to do with crypto, but it came up actually. This is amazing. I mean, this is really, really great. I don't know who this person is on Twitter. Let me share this. Now, this actually just came up about last week at work in our business, and we had to say, no. And I said to someone that works for us, I said to him, I said, sometimes, it's okay to say no. Many times it's okay to say no. You don't always have to bend over backwards to try to help everybody, especially, if the outcome isn't going to be great. And we already know. And now what I thought was interesting here is that Layah Heilpern, she has a good following here on Twitter, but author of Undressing Bitcoin, Freedom and Empowerment, host of the Layah Heilpern Show over on YouTube, a marketing advisor, really accomplished, 270,000 followers on Twitter. But I love this, right? Master the art of saying no. Now, here's the key: without an explanation. So, can you do such and such? No. Not sorry, I can't do it. No. not no with exponent, just no. Can you do it? No. That's it. I love this. Master the art of saying no without an explanation. I think, to me, that's actually one of the best comments of the week. I don't know, maybe it's the best comment of the year. It's the best comment I've seen on Twitter in a long time. It's nothing to do with XRP whatsoever, but this comment to me stood out. I thought it was just spot on and perfect and getting likes, as we go. So let's give that one a like. But I don't know. I don't know anything about the author of Undressing Bitcoin. Don't know. Didn't look at it. The only thing I've seen on this tweet is this one right here. Master the art of saying no without an explanation. Outstanding stuff. I love it. I love it. Now, Alchemist tried that once. Didn't work so well. Can't say no to the dad or the mom, especially when they're not expecting a no answer. Good night, Kelly. Glad to see you on. Stay safe. Jared is saying, I do care. I do care about this lady. No. See, that's not so hard. No. See that? Alchemist saying Gary Gensler's in big trouble. Hinman is corrupt. Joseph Lubin is an international financial criminal. Look at all those statements. Kind of tie all that together right there. A lot of stuff. You can see all the tie-in, all the issues, all the individuals. And look how, we start there with Gary Gensler, but look at all those that had some involvement in this SEC v. Ripple case. And it's kind of crazy and still no clear explanation as to why. And that's one thing. You see that? Is XRP a security? No, it's not a security. I like that. See, it's easy, right, Matt? It's very, very, is XRP? No, it's not a, nope. Easy. That's it. Mark, can I have some of your XRP? No. Gary, absolutely not. And so there we go. We gotta put that one up there because here you go. Very, very simple response to Gary. Go, Gary, go! Go, Gary, go! Go, Gary! I love that. How great is that? Just no, not gonna happen. It's so perfect. Northeast Whitewater, are McDonald Happy Meal toys securities? Very possible if you're expecting to get some sort of a profit out of it, per Gary Gensler. If you're expecting that you're going to earn some returns from McDonald's from said toy in your Happy Meal, then very likely it is a security per the G-Man. So, all right, here's another one. Now, 4 years, no answers, no clear. Another great comment of the day. Doesn't have anything to do with XRP, but it does, in this case, have something to do with cryptocurrency. And it also, via John Deaton, who is commenting on this, could then have some reference to XRP in such a way. But this was John Deaton. It's shameful, right? Now he's referencing, earlier I said Jerome Powell, meant Jesse Powell, the CEO of Kraken, or ex-CEO of Kraken, because he stepped down to now replace, but he's one of the co-founders. But anyhow, it's shameful that this question was posed 4 years ago by the founder and CEO of a major exchange, Jesse Powell of Kraken FX. Still no clarity on how to address it in the United States. Great. This is like a spot-on comment. Again, not referencing XRP specifically. Obviously, we know where John Deaton stands and who he's defending, et cetera, but perfect comment. Shameful that 4 years and no clarity, nobody addressing it. Crazy stuff. Now, what did Jesse Powell say? He said, okay, but what about ICOs that aren't security offerings? And what about securities offerings outside of the U.S. that are later acquired and traded by U.S. residents? Now, they're just blanket statement, all crypto securities, all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Obviously, that's fake. Danny, if an ICO project touches a U.S. citizen, it then can be taken up by the SEC, right? I mean, right? It's outlandish. Now, here's another. This came up. I was going through the tweets, and I'm going to pull up that one as well. But did he truly want an answer, though, right? Because look, now Jesse Powell, I don't know if you guys, if anyone knows, 'cause I was trying to look for this. I didn't see any of it. But what is this statement right here? If Ripple hadn't F me, I might be more interested in taking on some risk for them. XRP is one of the 50 plus assets that Kraken supports. We're not going to blow up the whole business for one company whose own shenanigans got them into trouble. I don't know what he's referencing there. I don't know exactly what side he's, coming in at, because there was no commentary to really back that up and support it, and did not find anything to show any. I don't know if you guys have seen that comment before. That one was a little outlandish. I'd never seen that one before, but again, this is from 4 years ago. So let's dig through. Hang on. So this is Jesse Powell and Brad Garlinghouse, and then we're going to get into Jesse Powell and John Deaton. Hang on a second. Let's add that one to the stream. What's up, Copperpot and Sin City? And I got all these people on that. We had Legendary was one of the first ones on today. I think Sir John might have even beat Legendary in earlier at the beginning of the show. Let me see if I can scroll all the way back to the top. And then we're going to get into this one. But yeah, Sir John was number one. Then Legendary popped in. I haven't seen another comment from Legendary since popped in at 7:51. We've seen Sir John add a few, but we haven't seen any commentary from Legendary in like an hour. I don't know what happened to Legendary. Before we move in, so we got Jim D saying, I'm still waiting for the semantic shift on the word security to become a declaration of XRP as a vital national financial security infrastructure. There we go. There's Legendary. What's up, Legendary? Sir John is now referred to in the third person as we. We now reference Sir John as we, or I don't know what you're meaning. Okay. So we got Legendary is present. What's up, Legendary? Where did it go? Okay, let's go over here. There we go. So all right, start here. Brad Garland says, so this is why regulation by enforcement wreaks havoc. By bringing a massive enforcement case, the SEC acknowledges they didn't determine anything, but the crypto market's under pressure interpreted the filing as such, causing massive damage to retail holders. Now, this was March 5th, 2021. Now, Jesse Powell was commenting on that. Huge asymmetrical risk for exchanges. Have to assume SEC's case is in good faith. Judges tend to side with agencies. If XRP found to be a security, SEC would say that exchanges should have known. Safe harbor pending outcome would have been responsible if only purpose is to test. Now, the problem with that whole thing is what? That we knew that Kraken was going to be in the crosshairs as well. Kraken also then, as we move forward through this, Jesse Powell was not a big fan of the SEC. But here he's saying you have to assume that they're acting in good faith. But it was the judge that was siding with the right side on all this. And we also saw that the SEC's lawyers got reprimanded multiple times over. Now, Apex, here we go. Thank you for this. Jesse Powell is a former Ripple board member. He resigned in January 2018 following how Ripple responded to Jeb McCaleb's departure from Ripple and the settlement terms, aka his taco stand. So lots there. Northeast Whitewater saying Hinman is star of SEC v. Ripple. We know factually he committed perjury over calendar. We also know he committed a felony of ignoring SEC warning of ethical violations. So there may be some potential ethical violation. All that, I guess, would have to be brought in front of the court to determine the outcome there. But Apex, thank you for bringing that up. Jesse Powell was a board member of Ripple. So obviously some things happened over there. So here we have totally now crypto. Granny was saying totally agree with this. The SEC should pay back XRP investors for the losses incurred. This does not help investors. That'll never happen. This is all March of 2021. How about the policy? In case of doubt, don't list. It would have worked pretty well, mate. So there all sorts of stuff, going on back then. But hang on a second, because there's more. But wait, there's more. Now, this was Deaton on Powell, and then Deaton even continues. I love going back and seeing this stuff, because just the reference, thinking about the fact that these are comments from March of 2021. I mean, it's crazy, right? So, so John Deaton was saying, this is a great example why I started Crypto Law US. Why does the SEC enforcement not provide regulatory clarity and guidance within the digital asset space? Why do regulators leave it vague and open to interpretation without clear guidance? So think about that. So it allows the government to pick and choose who to go after. When it's vague and open to interpretation, it allows for corrupt motives to influence decision making. It allows a handful of regulators to pick the winners and losers and not the free markets. Why did Bill Hinman choose publicly say ETH was no longer a security? Former chief of SEC, Joseph Grunfeld, actually believes Bitcoin was a security early on. Why did Hinman and Clayton give clarity to BTC and ETH but refuse to comment on other specific products? If we read the SEC stated goals, it's supposed to share info about companies and products to assist investors in making informed decisions when investing. Yet only BTC and ETH have been commented on. Why? What conflicts have we not been told about? I guarantee you that there are reasons as to why these individuals provided some clarity for BTC and ETH only. Time will expose the truth. This was March of 2021. So it's great when you go back, you see all the things that happen over the period of a year, over 2 years. But think of this as commentary from a year ago. Now look at where we're at today and look at how close now we are to final decision. But the comments and the lack of transparency as to why we saw acts or actions from Hinman and some of these others on these specific assets. I mean, it's amazing that there's zero transparency, and this information will have to come out. Now, there is a new dawn, a new day coming come November, and we'll see what happens and transpires in January and in going through into 2023. Are we then going to get clarity on some of these actions? Are we then going to get clarity on the crypto space? So that's going to be interesting. So acting chairwoman Allison Heron Lee issues a directive the SEC will not consider contingent settlement offers. Hester Pierce and Elad Roisman issue a letter disagreeing with the acting chairwoman's directive. The SEC can't even agree with itself. The only other guidance provided was a risk alert, placing the entire industry on notice that it better be compliant or else. And it goes on, right? Now we know that the SEC blames the exchanges who suspended XRP. They suspended it out of fear of being sued like Ripple, but the SEC tells me to pretty much sue Coinbase, Kraken, Binance. Now we also know that the next phase of Gary Gensler was to go after the exchanges, and that's recently, right? So that's like a year later. Over a year later, approximately a year plus, let's say 12 to 14 months later, the objective directly from Gary Gensler was to go after the exchanges. And this is a year ago, right? That they were blaming the exchanges that suspended at crazy stuff, right? If the court says XRP is a security, then everyone should accept that the SEC enforcement is coming after all of crypto and digital assets. The SEC will then say, don't blame us. We had no choice. It's what the court decided. To the maxis, WTFU, wake the fuck up. Point to John Deaton. That was March of 2021. So spot on. So perfect. That type of stuff, we definitely needed that, So dog just fell over, turned the light right into my eyes. He just tripped over the light. That was great. All right, hydroponics, Alan. Have a great night. Frank Lavelli, thank you. I keep hearing from someone on YouTube who says Reggie has all the patents. Reggie. Reggie Middleton. There we go. Do you ever hear the narrative Reggie Middleton as the patent for ODL? His project is what is it? Veritasium, and the SEC went after him years ago. I don't know. Did anyone say yes? They know about that? Oh, there we go. Jim D. I think Reggie's patent is on the DEX mechanism. Interesting. There we go. Jim D. Last I heard, SEC has most of Reggie's tokens seized. Interesting stuff. Interesting. All right. Now, one more. We have time for one more here. Hang on a second. Where is it? This is a great. Now, here's another one. I saw this tweet. War in Ukraine speeding up crypto adoption. Before we get into that other one, this is on the Amicus brief. But this one, man, I saw this. And I said, could this be possible? I mean, this is, again, all the calamities that are transpiring in the world at the same time. BlackRock CEO says Ukraine war could speed digital currency adoption. Now, digital currency, not necessarily crypto or digital asset, but he's talking about referencing digital currency like a digital pound, a digital dollar, etc. Can that then speed up the adoption of digital currency? And as you get into it, it's just like, I like this. Order out of chaos, problem, reaction, solution. A chaos is needed for a reset. So you see this, the notion of, are we then going to have a calamity? We have inflation, severe inflation. We have a devaluation of currency. We have a shortage. We have supply chain issue. Now, let's say that you have another major conflict with the Ukraine. Can that then speed up more economic issue on a global scale with everything else going on? And then is there then a massive reset or a move? And so in that case, they'll say, well, we need to make this massive move real quickly to move over to these digital currencies. Now, can those digital currencies then be programmable digital currency, or are they decentralized digital currency, or are they in the CBDC, or are those CBDCs then being built on the XRPL? I mean, lots and lots of open questions, but I think it's interesting that we're starting to see, all these issues kind of compiling on top of one another. And it all seems to be coming to a head with this, amazing financial technology that we always reference in the crypto space. And then you've got all these things going on with XRP and in this case with Ripple. So interesting, really interesting. What else do we got here? Hang on. Here we go. Okay, now I don't know who Bill is. Belisarios at Belisarius 2020 over here on Twitter. I don't know Bill. I saw this today. 8,000 followers. Let's see what he says here. He's a lawyer, sports fanatic, digital asset enthusiast. I like, able to also then dig in. Now, yesterday morning, Chip and I talked about I-Remit. We talked about the fact they want to file an Amicus brief, and we talked about the flight company as well. And so this is interesting because Bill is digging into this Amicus brief of I-Remit. And he says here, may be short a few pages, but it packs a powerful punch. It is damaging to the SEC's argument on the third prong of the Howey and more helpful to XRP, in my opinion, than the CDC's Amicus brief. Now he goes on. It's impressive how, because of its deep knowledge of the technologies and the evidence of I-Remit's own use case of XRP and the XRPL, it comes across almost as an independent expert. He gets into it. Most importantly, It is a market participant with actual knowledge, not just theoretical knowledge of how ODL and XRPL are used and that they are different. It shows how XRP is used as a tool for payment transfers, not an investment, which is the use case Ripple created by ODL, but to which the essential characteristics of XRP are so suitable. Highlights to me the problem the SEC has shown in conflating the XRPL and ODL. Now it goes on essentially, and this is the critical point. It relies on the characteristics of XRP as fast, easy, and reliable, not on the value of XRP or any efforts of Ripple that increase its value. The third prong of Howey does not apply to XRP for I-Remit at all, basically. I think that this was just really, really tremendous. Let's see if we can scale that down. I-Remit does not reply in Ripple's purported efforts to boost the value of XRP. The value of XRP is largely irrelevant to companies like I-Remit. As explained above, I-Remit is instead focused on ODL speed, ease, and reliability to the extent that I-Remit is conscious of the value, and it goes on some more there. But this was really kind of poignant. I'm looking at this, and I still see Bill's take on it, and he's, referencing, what's going on with I-Remit, and I really think that was great. Now, this one, Zap was talking about the tab jets. Also, we talked about this yesterday, Chip and I. But here's eBay US.ETH, NVIDIA.ETH. Interesting what he's got there. But yeah, it shows that XRP has the true nature to be a global payment, something BTC and ETH can't do. And I think that's just really, and it kind of goes on, like some applaud there. That was really, really great. Now, obviously, a lot of things going on in this space. I didn't even try to get into some of the things that are going on with the Bank of International Settlement via CBDCs and the cross-border payments and stuff that's been going on with SWIFT and, some of the commentary from SWIFT. But here's one from Bill. This was actually goes back to Friday, but you're quite right. These have their own unique arguments. TabJet, for example, asserts its business will be irreparably damaged if it can't use XRP as a currency. Indeed, the benefit of XRP to it is the true reason the SEC seeks to crush crypto to protect traditional banks. I think he really hit some amazing, amazing points right there on that last commentary with Bill. Really spot on stuff. And that just could potentially summarize the direction that everything's going in. A lot of amazing things happening, all kind of coalescing at this exact moment into a spearhead. And we don't know what that outcome is going to cause, but right now, with the traditional markets, with skyrocketing inflation and devaluation of currencies and everything else, are we starting to see kind of the boiling point of the crypto markets? And then you have the SEC v. Ripple coming to a head as well. What is that going to do? And we have elections coming up in November and a change here, and maybe a complete change of clarity where there is a lack thereof in crypto today. So that's what I've got. You guys were amazing, held in there for the hour. That was outstanding conversation. Great commentary. As always, we have the best and the brightest that gather here, right here with us on the chain. You guys are amazing. You guys are outstanding. Thanks for the support. Legendary, if you're still in there, thank you for being an OTC member. If you guys are interested in being an OTC member and helping to support, you can hit that join button. And that is all I've got for this evening. I will check you guys out on the next one. I am out of here. Ready? Oh, let me hit this before we go out. Let me get one of those in there. Like, subscribe, bell notifier. There we go. Let me throw another cool one in there. There you go. Here you go. Subscribe, bell notifier, and there you go. You guys know what to do. We will check you guys out on the next one. I am out of here. See if we can find it. There it is. See ya.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.
Oh, I forgot to end it. Swiveling around. We're still live. Nice. I'm out.